So welcome to the webinar. We're going to go through a product walkthrough of Fireflies.ai. And the agenda for today is to talk about what is Fireflies, right? What's the platform? Go through an overview of that. Talk about how you can get started with it, capturing meetings. We'll go into some of the features you guys really care about, like transcription and search. And then we'll talk about in-app features, like what you can actually do inside the dashboard after you've captured your meetings. Another common point of interest is integrations. We have a lot of integrations to both web conferencing platforms as well as apps and CRMs. So we'll talk a little bit more in detail regarding that. And then I'll be able to walk you through the different tiers and what's offered on each plan and the pricing related to that. And then just general stuff related to call recording rules when you do use Fireflies in meetings. And then finally, we'll give a quick checklist of what to do to get started really quickly. So a little bit about us. Fireflies was started by myself, Krish, and my co-founder Sam. We both have product and engineering backgrounds. I was previously in product management at Microsoft. We had tons of meetings. I worked on a lot of collaboration software there. My co-founder Sam was at MIT. He was doing deep learning and machine learning, and a lot of some of the core technology pieces that we bring to Fireflies is thanks to his background. And we're based out here in San Francisco. We also have offices in India, and we have a team that is global in 5 different countries, 7 different locations. We are a globally distributed team. And as a result, we use Fireflies ourselves a lot in both our meetings, our web conferencing calls, and just to be able to collaborate across different time zones better. We serve customers of all sizes, SMBs, large enterprises, agencies, research and consulting firms, individual users, teams. Fireflies is really a tool that anyone can just pick up and start using very quickly. And we're fortunate to have some incredible investors from companies like Slack, Facebook, Dropbox, Salesforce, Amazon, Segment. And many of these people have brought some great collaboration DNA that we use and empower our people to build amazing products here at Fireflies. So let's go over the platform overview. Here's the biggest challenge. We all spend time in meetings. In fact, 42% of our time in the workplace is spent in meetings. Doesn't matter if you're in the office, if you're remote, we all have meetings. In fact, as you become a manager or an executive, you spend more than 60% of your time in meetings. The reality is most meetings are unproductive, and more than half of that information is lost the moment you leave that conference room. But the treasure trove of information that we want is buried inside conversations. It's only after it's been translated into documents, into specs, into spreadsheets that we actually get value out of it. And that is a huge problem because what that causes us to do is have repeat meetings when we forget important information. When we have zero recall, we're now able to collaborate better with our teammates and make important decisions faster. So let's face it, no one likes taking notes during meetings. Everyone is distracted. You're probably checking your email, you're probably checking other notifications while the meeting is happening, and meetings aren't going away. It's one of the most popular ways for people to collaborate, for better or for worse. We have asynchronous forms of communication like Slack and messaging on other platforms. We still have email, but meetings are sometimes the fastest way to collaborate important information. So what does Fireflies do and how does it help your meetings? 1, we're able to automatically record and transcribe all your meetings. 2, we're able to help you search across all your meetings, listen and review a 1-hour call in less than 5 minutes, be able to scan through action items, topics, and other important pieces of information. And 3, we're able to help route all that important information discussed in meetings automatically to your CRMs like Salesforce or HubSpot or apps like Slack that you use. Where is it used today? It's used in internal meetings, sales and customer calls, recruiting, legal and compliance, operations. Literally, whether you're having an engineering meeting, a product meeting, a planning meeting internally, Fireflies is great to capture all that knowledge. If you are having a customer-facing meeting where you need to close a deal, you need to do a discovery call, learn more about your clients, it's great to gather information, have that so that you can use it later to build better relationships and close the deals. If you are hiring a lot of candidates and you need to listen to what each candidate is saying and not have to worry about frantically taking notes, where it's great in the recruiting use case. People sometimes just need to record calls for legal and compliance reasons where they need to have it on record. So we have a lot of teams using it for that. and in general, day-to-day operations, right? In order for teams to function, both small and large, they need to have meetings, they need to have that information documented. And so we have a wide array of use cases where Fireflies can be used. So now that you've started using Fireflies or you've signed up for it, how do you start capturing meetings? Well, there are 4 ways to capture meetings very quickly. One thing is Fireflies is able to connect to your calendar and then automatically detect the meetings that are on your calendar. And one of the easiest ways is to invite Fred at fireflies.ai to your meetings. This way, Fred is able to detect when there's a web conferencing link on the meeting or a dial-in number, and then just join that meeting and capture that meeting for you. The other option is to be able to auto-join meetings, where you can have Fireflies automatically join meetings. Another option is to automatically upload calls or audio files of previously recorded meetings. And then another nifty tool that you can use is download our Chrome extension. And what this will do is it'll put a button on all your calendar invites, on your Google Meets. And so when you're scheduling a meeting, you can click that and then have Fireflies scheduled to join the call. So recapping, you can invite Fred at fireflies.ai just like you would invite one of your teammates to a meeting on Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar. You can have Fireflies auto-join your meetings by going to app.fireflies.ai and adjusting your settings. There are multiple options you can choose. You can choose when it joins your meetings. For example, if I wanted to have it join all my meetings that have a web conferencing option, I just say join all that have a meeting link, and Fireflies will automatically join those meetings. I can even configure it to where it only joins meetings that I'm an owner of. I can also set it where it only joins when I specifically invite Fred at fireflies.ai. And I can also have it join only internal meetings or external meetings with customers. So there's a lot of options in the settings tab. To join a meeting, what you need to have on the calendar invite is a web conferencing URL and a dial-in number and PIN. So here's an example of Google Meet where both the URL is there and the dial-in number and PIN. In case Fireflies is not able to dial in via the URL, it joins via the PIN and dial-in number. So we encourage you to put both in there. Here's another example of Zoom, where there's the Zoom URL for joining the meeting, as well as the dial-in number and PIN. We support multiple web conferencing systems, including Google Meet, Zoom, WebEx, Uber Conference, Free Conference Call, BlueJeans, Join.me, Zoho Meeting, GoToMeeting, DailyCo, High5, RingCentral, Skype for Business. We basically cover 90% of all the major web conferencing providers. So even if you use one web conferencing platform and your customers or your candidates are using another web conferencing platform, Fireflies is seamless. It's able to detect all of this automatically the moment you connect your calendar. When Fred does join the call, it'll join as a participant. Here is an example with Google Meet and Zoom, where it'll join as a participant and you'll see fireflies.ai join the meeting. There are other web conferencing platforms where it'll join via the number 415-212-5899. This is when it joins through the dial-in line because that is the only way for it to join the meeting. The third option, as mentioned earlier, you can upload MP3 or WAV files, audio files, and then you can have those meetings processed. This is great if you've had meetings in person and you've recorded on your phone and you want it captured and transcribed and put in the system. Easiest way to drag and drop files like you would drag it into Google Drive or you would drag it into Dropbox. The fourth option is a Chrome extension. You can go to the Chrome store. You can actually go to our website, or when you go into the dashboard, they'll suggest you to go download the Chrome extension. Visit fireflies.ai/Chrome extension to get it. And all it'll do is it'll just put a button so that you don't have to forget about inviting Fireflies to a meeting. You can click that button and it'll invite Fireflies to the meeting. After the meeting has completed, Fireflies takes 10 to 15 minutes to process the meeting. We take some time so that we can ensure the highest quality in terms of processing. And afterwards, you will get a post-meeting recap email, which will send you to the meeting dashboard where you can view the transcript and listen to the audio and do all the search and all that stuff. And then for our starter, pro, and business tiers, you can even configure your meeting settings on who that recap gets sent to. If you want it to only send to yourself or your teammates or everyone on the invite, that option is available as well. Things to remember from all this is Fireflies joins meetings like a participant. It does not make any noise. It just sits in the background, so you don't have to worry about disturbing your meeting. and it stays till the scheduled end time based on the calendar. So if the meeting was scheduled from 6 to 6:30 p.m., it'll stay till 6:30 p.m. We've implemented a new feature for Zoom and Google Meet, and it will be available to other web conferencing platforms in the near future, where, at 6:30 p.m., if the meeting is still going on, Fireflies will be able to detect that and continue staying till the conversation has ended. I know it was a heavily requested feature from a lot of people where they say, hey, our meetings tend to run late. I don't want Fireflies to leave early. So we've taken note of that, and we've worked on a way to support that for Zoom and Google Meet. Now let's talk about transcription, right? Everyone wants to learn more about transcription. What are the capabilities? How does it work? So right off the bat, our transcription is 90% accurate. We've trained it on a lot of data. We've specifically trained it for meetings to understand the lingo and the language, and it is one of the best in the industry, if not the best. And the language today that is supported is English. We plan to support more languages in the near future. Contact us if you're interested in Spanish, Japanese, or any of the other languages out there. It actually handles accents very well. We've trained it. We have customers in Australia, we have customers in India, we have customers in Europe, and even customers in the United States, where everyone has different accents. So we've been training the system to recognize accents. Obviously, if your accent is very thick and it's hard for a person to understand the English, it's going to be hard for the system to transcribe that. And as mentioned earlier, processing time is 10 minutes after a meeting. Will we have real time? Yes, in the near future. But what we want to optimize right now for is the highest quality experience in terms of transcription. That's why the system takes about 10 to 15 minutes after the call to process it, and then updates your notebook and updates and sends you an email of the recap. So how can you ensure that you get the best output? To ensure the best output, you want to make sure that there's low background noise, that you're using a good mic. Sometimes, if you're a salesperson, you're using a headset. Make sure that you are speaking clearly so that there is no slurs or there's no overlap in conversation between people. And you can also use our custom vocabulary feature, which is a new thing that we've implemented. You can again see this in app.fireflies.ai/settings. The custom vocabulary feature lets you add in proper nouns and phrases that might be unique to your company, acronyms and things like that, which would traditionally not be part of common English, like maybe people's names and so forth. And you can have the system better recognize that over time. This is one of the fastest ways to get the system to provide a great transcript output. Let's talk about in-app features. If you go to app.fireflies.ai/notebook, that will be the central repository where all your past meetings that have been recorded, transcribed, and stored there. That's where you can see them. You can also filter in the notebook, by various criteria, right? Like who was the meeting host, what date it was scheduled, what was the title of the meeting. So if you have hundreds of meetings, we have really powerful filtering and search capabilities so that you can filter down to specific meetings. To put this into context, it's incredibly powerful. If I've been using Fireflies for 6 months or a year, imagine being able to filter to exactly the meeting I had with an important customer or an important product meeting, and be able to find that would happen, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and be able to drill down into a specific part of the call and listen to that part of the call, read the transcript, review it, and basically have perfect recall. Fireflies is essentially like your second brain, right? It stores everything in all your conversations you've ever had. So when we talk about the notepad, so once you actually click into one of these meetings, you'll see a notepad like this. There will be a smart search capability. There will be a notepad note taker area in the middle where you can start taking notes while listening to the audio or reviewing the transcript. And on the right-hand side, you will have a transcript where it'll be time-stamped, and you can search across the transcript. You can edit the transcript. You can do a lot of stuff. You can also leave comments at various parts of the call. You can export the meeting, and you can download the transcript if you want in various formats. You can even create sound bites of important pieces of points from the call. So let's look at the actual Fireflies notepad here. One of the great things about this is you can listen at 1.5x speed or 2x speed, so just to quickly go through the call very fast. You can also download the audio or the transcript, and with the transcript, we give it to you in so many different versions. If you want a PDF, you want a doc, you want an SRT, if for whatever reason you want to upload that to one of your videos. You can do it in JSON, you can do it in CSV. You could also leave pins and markers at different parts of the call. So if you are at a specific part of the call and there was something important said, that when you share the meeting with your teammates, that you would want them to jump to that part of the call, you can leave pins there, which is a really interesting feature. You can hit a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a pin marker to be able to do all that. So let's look at the notepad itself. One of the powerful things with the notepad transcript is that you can click on any word and listen to that part of the call. You can search within the transcript, right, with keywords near the search bar area. You can even edit the transcript, and when you do that, it actually trains the system to record better and smarter. You can jump to different parts of the call by clicking on the timestamps that you see on the left-hand side. You can also have the system identify speakers. Again, this is a feature in beta. It works traditionally well when there is good audio and there are people with on different lines, but it's a new feature that we're releasing out where it's able to identify speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, and so forth. And you can go in and edit the name of the speakers and it'll update it for everyone. It's a pretty powerful feature and we're doing more work there, but again, just to make sure to set the expectation straight, it's in beta. And it typically works well, when you're having a one-on-one conversation where there's only two people, or the fewer the speakers, the better it's able to recognize it. If you're in a room with 10 people, it's much harder for the system to recognize it because of just the technical feasibilities of that. The commenting section is a great way, I use this when I'm doing coaching or when I need to point out specific things that were said in meetings. Instead of pulling out long email threads after a call and having to go through a chain of emails or Slack messages, I just love leaving comments at specific parts of the call. People can click on the timestamps where I left the comment, listen to it, review what I said. We can have a discussion, quick discussion back and forth. And it just is a great way when I'm trying to coach people, when I'm trying to educate people or inform people about important things. I can literally go to the source of the conversation and do it. So it's one of our go-to tools for collaborating. Soundbites is one of my favorite features because it's a long meeting, it's a 30-minute meeting, it's an hour-long meeting, but there are soundbites. There are certain key moments from calls that are just so important, that are just great to listen to, great to share with the team, great to share back with other folks like customers. And so what you can do is you can actually create sound bites. You have those like 10-second, 20-second, 30-second blurbs, and you can quickly create that, and you can tag them, and then you can essentially share unique links to those sound bites. So I can share a 30-second link when a customer was giving a testimonial or a complaint or a product feedback. And this is just such a great way to collaborate with your team by sharing sound bites instead of the entire meeting. The notepad itself, it's where I can take notes, and as I'm taking notes, there'll be a timestamp marking back to that part of the audio. So when I take a note at 11 minutes and 56 seconds, afterwards, one of my teammates goes there and clicks on that. They're able to jump to that part of the call. I can also push these notes to any integration that I've enabled by clicking on the share icon. I can also just share this meeting URL as a whole by pressing the copy link or sharing the meeting URL. So I can have anyone on my team review the transcript, see my notes, and so forth. The smart search capability, which you saw earlier on the left-hand panel, this is one of our very powerful features where it'll automatically filter through the transcript and show you relevant things. So if I click on tasks, it'll show me what the system thought were potential action items or next steps from the meeting. If I click on metrics or if I click on questions, it'll show me what parts of the calls where questions were asked or what part of the calls where dates were asked. So these are built-in AI components that we've already put together. It also is one of the most popular features to be able to quickly skim through an hour-long meeting in 5 minutes because you're able to just search the most relevant pieces. We also give users the ability to create their own custom topics because your company is unique, your team is unique, the things that you want to track might be different. So for example, at Fireflies, we like to track whenever in a customer meeting, we talk about integrations. So if they mention Salesforce or HubSpot or Zoho, I can go to app.fireflies.ai/topics and be able to essentially create these custom topics. And when I go click on that in the Smart Search tab of the Notepad, I'm able to just filter my entire transcript to that part of the call and quickly skim through it very quickly. Let's talk about integrations now that we're actually at it. What our integrations will do is it'll automatically push the following to the integrations after the meeting. It'll send the call activity information like what the name of the meeting was, how long the meeting was, who the participants on the meeting were. It'll also send AI notes. The AI generated notes are based on these action item filters. They're based on these topic filters. And there's a bunch of machine learning going on under the hood where it's able to identify and pull things together. The other thing that it'll do is it'll send the meeting audio and it'll also send a transcript link to the integration. We're working on ways to actually get the entire transcript into some of these systems, but again, that's a limitation on the integrations we support. So one of the things we do is we just post the transcript link that you can click on and you can go view the transcript if needed. So some of the current app integrations we support today: Salesforce, HubSpot, Copper, Zoho CRM, Salesforce, Pipedrive, Freshsales, Close.io. All these CRM integrations. We also have a Zapier integration. So if you have other custom integrations or custom places you want to route it to, you can do that. We also have an API that's coming out, and if you're interested in the API or the business tier, you can reach out to us. And we also have a Slack integration, which we use, where we can start pushing important things to one of our designated channels after a meeting. And to recap app integrations, right, you can go turn on integrations at app.fireflies.ai/integrations through literally 1 or 2 clicks, and then you're able to turn on that integration by authenticating your account. As I mentioned earlier, the AI notes are generated from a combination of action items, numbers, dates, important topics, and it tries to pull together some relevant sentences, relevant notes that you can quickly skim. And for CRMs, the magic is it'll automatically log it under the appropriate contact. Because Fireflies knows who the participants on the meeting were, because it's connected to your calendar, it's able to then go find those participants, what company they belong to, what are their contact names in your CRM system, and log it under there. This is great for salespeople or customer success people or consultants, because they don't have to go manually log notes and other important information after every meeting. If they're having a dozen meetings every day, Fireflies can do that automatically for them. Team features, right? Fireflies, you get the most out of it when you use it in a team. You can go to the Fireflies settings and team settings and actually add your team members. You can add them to your team, your teammates to inside, so that all their meetings get synced up to the team notebook as well. And it's just one way to centralize all your team's meetings in one place, right? It's literally, like I mentioned, a second brain for yourself. Now it's a second brain, a shared brain for your team. And you can go invite your teammates by adding their emails. You can also share a invite link to them, the URL, which they can click on to activate their account. Fireflies will also suggest teammates based on past meetings you've had with them, and you can go click on them and add them to your team. And their meetings will be shared, saved into the notebook that you saw earlier, and your meetings will be there, and everyone will just have easy time to communicate and collaborate across each other's meetings. It's perfect when you're invited to a meeting, you're not able to go, but Fireflies is able to go capture it and you can review it later. That's a great example of that. Or you have a meeting and you're a salesperson and you want to share that information back with your engineering team or product team. They have access to that very quickly. I know so many times when I was a product manager at Microsoft where we want to go sit on customer calls that salespeople are having, but we're so far disconnected, there's so many silos that we never actually get a chance to do that. And now this is an awesome opportunity to break those silos, break those barriers, and literally have cross departments cross communicate. It's literally doing what Slack did for your messaging across channels. We're doing that for your meetings, where we're breaking down those barriers and helping the flow of information across all the different teams. You can, as an admin, configure your team settings as well, which meetings Fireflies joins for your different teammates and who gets the recaps. And we're doing more work on these admin features, but this is just a start in terms of some of the capabilities that we're able to offer today. Now let's talk about pricing tiers. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Fireflies does have a free tier. You can capture your Zoom or Google Meet meetings. You can play back the audio. You can share links. You can create comments. You can create playlists of sound bites. You have a calendaring integration. You have a Slack integration, CRM integration. You can take timestamp notes. A lot of the core functionality is there. There's a limited amount of storage on the free tier. It's 3,000 minutes. On the starter tier, you get all of the free plus more integrations, plus you're able to get custom meeting settings. What that means is you can control the share settings of who gets access and whatnot. You have more storage. You have a Zapier integration. And it's just a great way for people that just need to capture audio to be on the starter tier. The pro tier is when you start getting transcription. You can search, you can do the downloading of those. You get access to more web conferencing integrations. You can create those topics that I mentioned earlier. You get more admin controls for your team. You get the custom vocabulary feature that'll help you improve the transcription. You get more storage. You get priority support. For the business tier, you get all of the pro, plus we add in the dialer and telephony integration. So if you want to use Outreach or SalesLoft or some of these telephony systems, we have those. We have better CRM logging, so we not only just push uh, the audio and the transcript link, but we also push notes and we put more metadata into it. You can also transcribe past calls. It's a feature that we have. So if you were on the free tier, or starter tier and you had a bunch of calls that were not transcribed when you were on those tiers, now you're on the business tier, you've upgraded, we actually have an opportunity for you to go back and have some of those meetings transcribed. We're introducing a credit system for that. We also have a custom speech models where the system will train and get better over time. We're also introducing our API access for people that want to do a bunch of different things with our transcripts or our meeting data. We'll have a dedicated account manager, and you have unlimited storage so that your team doesn't have to worry about filling up on their meetings very quickly. If you have any questions, you can check out app.fireflies.ai/pricing or fireflies.ai and then click on the pricing tab, and you'll get to see all these features in action. Best way, just start using it, and then realizing if you need transcription or any of these other things, you can go turn on Pro. We've built Fireflies from the bottoms up so that you really don't need to go through a salesperson to start using the platform. We believe in transparency, we believe in self-serve, and we believe in making the system affordable. We're packing a lot of powerful AI tech into this, but we want to make it super simple, easy for you to turn on, swipe your credit card and start using, and not have to worry about going and setting up demos with like a crazy enterprise product and then trying to get convinced by a salesperson to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not our culture. We want you to know what we offer, and we want you to be able to go and use it as seamlessly as possible. Call recording rules. So some folks have this question about, am I allowed to record my meetings? Fireflies is recording these calls. What are the best practices around that? The legal rule, at least here in the United States, which I will attest to, is that certain states require two-party consent or consent of every party on the call to be notified that the call is being recorded. Ultimately, the onus is on you as a user, on you notifying your participants or indicating to them that the call is being recorded. The easiest thing you can do is, they're going to see Fireflies on the meeting. Easiest thing you can say is, hey, this call is being recorded for note-taking purposes. Is that okay? And most people, almost 99% of people, have no issues at all. In fact, I've talked to customers where they actually say, when they say that, their customers or their clients appreciate that because, one, it means that they're doing a better job, being more diligent, recording everything so that they can go back and provide a better experience for their customers. So we love it, and I think the world is moving more towards this, where everything is being captured and everything is being made available so that we can actually focus on the meeting versus scrambling to take notes and being distracted. If for whatever reason you don't want Fireflies on the meeting, you can kick it out through the web conferencing platform, and it will not join back. We also have an auto notification feature in app.fireflies.ai settings, where if you want the system to notify participants before a meeting, you can go and turn it on. You can customize the message, and this will basically let participants know, hey, I'm an AI assistant. I'm just going to be recording this call for note-taking purposes. It's 100% automated. Everything is like safe. Let me know if you don't want it to be recorded for whatever reason. So that gives you an option, so you don't have to let people know each and every time. It is a feature that is by default disabled, and you can enable it if you so choose to. Now, let's go through a checklist of things to get started. We went through a lot of stuff, and I hope that this webinar was helpful to just get a feel for all the powerful capabilities our platform provides, just so that you can have better meetings. The best thing to do, right, simple checklist, is just sign up and get started, right? Play around with the system, go to app.fireflies.ai. You can download the Chrome extension on the Chrome store or through the dashboard. You should start inviting your teammates. You get the most out of Fireflies when your teammates are also starting to use it, and you get that collaborative experience. Add Fireflies to your first meeting, and then after the meeting, you should wait and receive a recap email within 10 minutes. You should go back, play back through the audio, search the transcript, do all that good stuff. You can create comments, notes, sound bites, and essentially share it, right, with people. The magic of Fireflies is really, as you start using it, in a couple of weeks, you realize you had an important meeting, you totally forgot the context and you need to go back. Till now, there was no way to do it. Like the notes you took probably aren't that great, right? So Fireflies gives you that extra reassurance by being on that meeting and capturing everything for you. So that's how you get started. If you have any questions, reach out to us over our website, live chat. So you go to fireflies.ai, you'll see a live chat icon, hit it, talk to us. We're happy to answer as quickly as possible. Or you can email us at support@fireflies.ai. Anyway, thank you for hopping on the webinar and trying to get a good feel for what this is. It's an excellent space. It's a brand new space, and it's where we want to change the way people collaborate and have better meetings. And I hope you have a great experience using Fireflies. Thank you.